giving you the systems finally in place that you can do everything that you need to be able to expose people to this program, this product, this idea, this business, and have those tools already pre-made that have been tested and that we know work in the field. We are seeing already an increase in sales and an increase in agents, and this to us is very exciting because we watched this once before go from very small beginnings and just kind of building and building and building until it became something that affected thousands of people's lives and put us in the position like we know on your replicated website where you have the counter now that shows that we're approaching $2 billion in principal pay down. I mean, when you think about it, I almost get a little caught up about that because I have to go back and think about where this all started and think about the beginnings that it came from, and that we never lost sight of that vision to buy America back one family at a time, to do the job right, to educate people, to make a difference we could be proud of, and do something that would affect many individuals. We have the deepest respect for the military and first responders, and as a result, for any military or first responder that desires to get on the Worth Account program on a membership, any of the Worth Account program products for military or first responders is a 10% discount. If they want to join the company, they can join for free. If you want to know how they qualify, just see the Newsworthy blog. You can type in military or first responders, and it'll pull up a page and give you the information for that. New activation, new agent activation promo. All new agents can sign up for $49. Is normally $149 over the next 99 days. The promo runs from April 8th. It's actually, we've taken that retro to April 1st to July 16th, 2016, and use promo code START49 for that. We also have a direct-to-director promo running for the next 30 days. Make one sale and advance direct-to-director, and that is one sale of any Worth Account product, and you will advance directly to director. And that's something, just so you know, on an average $3,100 sale, going from an agent to a director in your commission is an increase of over $200 in commission just by going from agent to director. So any sale whatsoever will qualify you for that promo. And hold on, everybody, just 1 second. I lost the screen of the PowerPoint. One moment, please. Okay, everybody, I apologize for that difficulty. I'm not sure what it was. The PowerPoint just dropped on us. So back to where we were, direct to director for the next 30 days, make one sale. And by making that sale of any Worth Account product, that will move you up to director. The promotion expires May 8th, 2019 at midnight. Worth Agent Wholesale Discount, this is a 30% discount, all software pricing options for Worth agents. Example, if your retail price was $3,495, the wholesale price would be $2,446. You'd save $1,049. Retail purchase price of $2,997. Wholesale price be $2,097. You'd save $900 on that particular purchase. You can contact support with any questions that you have. The qualifiers for the wholesale discount applicable first 30 days after becoming a Worth Unlimited agent. The other piece there is current Worth agents, so a 30% discount applicable on all one-time purchase or subscription options. And again, deadline May 8th, 2019 for all current Worth agents. And use promo code AGENT30 for that promo. And then your next one is a grandfathered ranks, and this is for all former You First grandfathered from previous rank activation. Use promo code AGENT30. And the activation special is one level advanced for all entry-level You First associates to senior associate Worth agents, a supervisor. The promos that these guys are running, putting in correlation with the launch, they are putting so much into this, and the information that we are getting out of this is phenomenal. The phones are busier than they've ever been. I've been on the phone more frequently than I've been in a very long time. We're seeing more agent signups. We're seeing more sales of product. We're seeing more individuals come to the forefront of this program and starting to see success with the new tools that have been put in place. And so with that having been said, I'm going to turn the time over to John Waschenko, and I'm going to turn the time over to Skylar Whitman. John is going to take you through some exciting developments that are new to the information that you received last week even. This is probably going to go on for the next couple weeks in a process of showing you some new things and then going back and training you on those things. Skylar has a big announcement for you that's coming, and with all that having been said, I want to turn the time over to Mr. John Waschenko.
Thank you, Mac. Good evening, everybody. We're just so excited about some things that we have to go over with you. I'm going to do a little bit of training, a little bit of update on some new tools and new information that we've released. It is live right now. So without any further delay, let's go into this. So our replicated site that we've launched already, this one you've already seen, is your replicated client book site. So we've been listening to the field, gotten some feedback, we've made some tweaks, and I'm going to show you some new things on this site and how it works and what we're going to do. We've also launched a new site for you. We're going to cover a little bit more about this. Is more of a video centered, focused site that allows you to just go through and show the videos. We've also launched track videos. We're going to go into that a little bit as well. And then it also has the ability for you to download the book, show the book, and all that. So we're going to go over that new site with you and those tools with you today. But first off, I want to go over a little bit with you of the replicated book site and how that works, what it was meant to do. So basically, this is a new replicated site, Agent ID. Now, this is for super agent, just a super, created agent. Could be whoever, but basically, this is a new replicated site. The first link right there, the worthaccount.com/the agent ID, can be rebranded to whatever you want. John could be rebranded to your first name, could be rebranded to whatever you want, and I'm going to show you where to do that and how to do that as well. But then, so once you've rebranded that site, those basically, even both of them are sites. So the replicated ID number is a site, as well as this, if you rename it, can be super agent, and then that is a real site that somebody can go to. Those two sites can, and this is the book site, can be like a net to capture leads for you. So you've got this out on social media, you've got this out on wherever you're advertising. This site, your site, can act as a net to then funnel leads into your back office. Or we've now created it so that you can use your back office to send a targeted link to a client that will attach. So after our branded URL, super agent, then it has this weird extension at the end, and that is an extension that you're not going to advertise. That is not something you want to advertise, because that is a link right here to a specific client. So you do not want to advertise that, but now we can track that client. So if I sent Skylar the videos and the book, and wanted to see if he was reading it or whatever, I'm going to be able to track him because of that ID and that link that he has to that book. So we're going to go over that a little bit more as well and show you how that works, but that's some super exciting stuff that we're going to go over. But basically this line, right here, that extension, that added extension, is something that we're not going to send. So if we're advertising our replicated site, we're either going to do it through the ID or the rebranded ID, and that's all we're going to use. So now we're going to do the same thing with the video and the book. So here's our agent ID /videos. So this is the new site / that ID. And basically you've got, so it's basically your ID number right here, / the videos, and that is the new book for the video site. So you're going to send them videos first, or you're focused first on the book. So either one you're going to use. So if you have the videos here in red at the end, then you're sending them your new site with videos focused first. Then you can also rebrand that. So if it's rebranded super agent, then it's just / videos. Now that super agent obviously is just a place filler, and you could do whatever you want. So this here super agent right here is that rebranded ID. The extension at the end, videos, is what, you know, is going to bring them to your new replicated site. And so basically, that is, you know, what your new site, how that's going to work, and then it's going to, this site will work the exact same way, and it's going to grab that site, and anybody who enters their name for more contact info, and we'll go through this a little bit more, so hopefully you don't have to just capture it all right now, but basically anybody who puts in their name, email address, phone number is going to get captured into that net, run into your back office. You're going to see them. They'll show up in blue, and we'll show you that here in a second. Or you can use this site as well as a targeted site to send prospects to. So we're going to go through both of those and show you how that works. So let's jump out of that real quick, and we're going to go live. So here we are in Super Agent's back office, and we have created a client, Bruce Lane. And basically we've got send videos and we've got send ebook. So those were the two sites that we were just talking about. So here's the send videos, super agent / and here are the videos, or I'm sorry, that was the book site, and then here is the video site. So they can watch these videos, and if they decide to download the book, it's going to track that because, if we've tagged it to a client. But if they're here to just be in that net, you know, if we've advertised this link, this URL, and here I've got the agent ID number instead of super agent, and over here I've actually got it branded as super agent, but you could do that either way. So if I went super agent / videos, that is that unique URL link. And so that brings me back into Super Agent 23. This is my Super Agent branded site that I can advertise, and I can use it as a net, as a funnel to pull in clients, or I can send clients to this site. So let's talk about, and I think you should be a little bit familiar with using that URL, so I could just copy that URL. Now, if I had an extension past that, that means it's branded to an individual client or a customer. You don't want anything past that. This is the only URL that you want, or you could have your ID under Super Agent to share. So this is the link that if I was super agent, that I would want to share so that I get credit, so that my clients show up in my back office. And as we do that, and so we can actually even do that right now, we're going to go with test client, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we've just entered in a client, so just a bogus client to show you how this works. So we're going to hit refresh over here on our site, and we can see that that client came in through that funnel and now has dumped into our back office right here. So now you can see how what we were talking about with the funnel, that's the funnel capturing. But I've put in Bruce Wayne, and we're going to go ahead and send Bruce Wayne the videos. So when I click send videos, it's going to attach, so we're going to send him this message, and so, you know, we can go ahead and modify any of this if we want to, and then, but Dear Bruce is going to be in there, and then subject, you know, you can modify that, but then we're going to go ahead and hit send message. So click OK over there. So now over here we can see that the email has been sent, and now what I want to do is grab that link from my email real quick. So I've got the email. I'm going to pull that over here for you. Actually, I'm going to just click on the link on the email, and I'll bring that in. Okay. So this is, and now if you see here, this was the other site that we had entered in, and that was for test client. And now Bruce Wayne is already there. So now here's my back office right here, and Bruce Wayne has already received, I've sent him the email. We've clicked on the link that was in the email. You guys can go through and do the email yourself, but now we're going to go ahead and watch the video here, but I'm going to fast forward it so we're not playing with going over the video, taking the time for that. But anyways, we'll just let this finish out real quick, and then we're going to track that and watch that. So this is some really exciting, cool stuff that you guys are able to do. So now all I have to do is refresh on my website, my back office, and you can see this is highlighted, filled in. So that means, let me just come back. It's auto playing on the second video, so we'll fast forward that, but here in just a second. But now we can see that Bruce Wayne's watched the first video. So it gets even better. So let's go ahead and play this. We're going to fast forward to the end. And here we go. Let that finish. Okay, great. So now we're going to come over back here to our website, refresh our website, and there we can see that Bruce has watched both videos. Now Bruce is going to actually download the book too. So we're going to say, get my free ebook. Now I'm going to get another email over here, so let me grab that. Okay, it just came in, and so I'm going to click on this link, and I'll pull this website in over here. So give me 1 second, pull this screen in. Okay, so here is the book. Now here on the book, we've created a download to PDF as well. So Bruce could click that download to PDF. It's going to pull it up in the same web browser, pull it up as a PDF. But now you can just save it as a PDF. You can print it out into a PDF, and so on and so forth. Now if they do that, we're not going to be able to track that for you. If they read it live, which you want to kind of encourage them to, if that's, I mean, you know, that's really not going to be what you're going to be able to control, so I'm just going to get out of that. But, you know, if they want to download it to PDF and print it out or whatever, they can do that now. So the PDF is there. But what we're going to do is we're going to kind of roll through this book. But if they read it live, now another cool thing that we've done is we've made this so that it's smartphone ready. So they can read this on their phone and everything. So we're going to just jump in here, get to a part in the book. Let's get into maybe chapter 5. And we're going to look here on our back office. We got to refresh over here. So now you can see on the book, let me refresh this a little bit, reload it. Okay, so you can see the book icon, and let me just kind of zoom in on this a little bit. So here we are on the book, and we can see that, you know, we're actually, if you mouse over it, we're 13% into the book. So we've read 13% of the book, the prospect Bruce Wayne has, and we can see where they're at. So that helps us to kind of understand where these customers are, what's going on, and how the funnel's working versus the targeting. So the targeting, the reason why we went over the targeting is because I put in Bruce Wayne. So I clicked over here, clicked new prospect, and I filled out this information, which is basically the same as just hitting edit on the stuff already entered in. So now I sent that to Bruce, and I sent him that email. So I can use my websites, my replicated sites, as a funnel to grab people offline to advertise the site or do whatever, or I can send out of my warm contacts directly to Bruce Wayne and know what he's done. So now I know, hey Bruce, I noticed you started the book. You know, if it's been a little bit, I can follow up and just, hey, have you read chapter 4? Hey, have you read chapter 5? You know, talk to him a little bit about it, get the conversation started and get things going that way. So that's basically the information that we wanted to go over with you. One thing that we did not touch on last week that I want to touch on this week is a little bit just in the shopping cart real quick. And you've got in here, so if you were to, so I'm logged in as super agent right now. If I go to run my analysis, now I don't want to be selected on any of these clients over here. So if you noticed, I was selected on Bruce Wayne and I just hit prospects again. So that basically refreshes our back office page to where I'm not selected on anything. I click on run my analysis. I'm going to zoom out of here just a little bit. Well, maybe I can leave it. And I'm going to go into live presentation mode so that you guys can see. Other than that, it's just going to basically, if I hit send client to cart, then it just sends them what we're seeing on live presentation mode. It just sends them the cart and they can finish it out. But they would finish it from, let's see, so they would finish it from the end part. But basically, here we are. So if I hit proceed to cart, I've got this zoomed in a little bit. It's not usually this big. Then I just select the pricing, and then it's going to send them the cart wherever. But we're doing this for ourselves. So if this was, you know, my upline, and I was sending, you know, Skylar this the shopping cart, I would just want to select which one he wants to get on. So at $34.60, I hit submit, and I think this is what people have been wanting to see is the 30% discount. So it automatically shows up because I went through in my back office and did this. But if Skylar, I was, you know, if I recruited Skylar and Skylar was in my back office, I could send him the link and it would open up just like this. So it shows discount's going to expire in 22 days. Price includes a 30% discount, shows them the discount, $1,038, makes the new purchase price $24.22, and then he can select PayPal. Now, if he selects PayPal, he's got to type in his name. So you got to make sure that goes green, and then you can hit PayPal. Now, it shoots it off into this other screen here. Let me pull it in. Okay, so it's running into PayPal. So this is where we're talking to PayPal. PayPal's coming back and talking to us. And when you're running and launching PayPal, you want to make sure that the address is already loaded. And hopefully you're going to use the same email address that they were using before. So basically, from here, that's where you'd be logging into your PayPal account, or you'd create a new one. But we're just going to go ahead and click back. And if they wanted to, use Visa or MasterCard, as you click out of it, it automatically defaults to Visa or MasterCard, and then you just select one, bank draft, credit card. So that's pretty much how that works. That's pretty easy. Hopefully you guys can figure that out, and if you have any questions, you can get with support, but that should all work out pretty easy. So, and that's basically, and that was going into run my analysis from me being an agent logging in. Now, if I'm an agent, it was under John Washenko's replicated site, and I had signed up Skylar, then he would be in my back office. And if I've got, a bunch of different clients in here, I could just search for Skylar, and it would find him just for the fact that he signed up as an agent. It's going to create him as a prospect as well in my back office. I can send him the videos. I can do everything that way. And if he signs up, he'll get the discount because he was directly under me. He can do it from either just going into run my analysis, or I can send him the link. Either way, we're going to know that Skylar's an agent already signed up with you. But hopefully that helps you to understand a little bit more about the tools that you have available to you, what we've just launched, and what we've got available now, and how you can use those tools. So basically, just to recap again, you can rebrand that your user ID to whatever. Oh yeah, I did want to show you that. So let me run and do that. Let's see. My replicated sites. So you're going to click on replicated sites, and then here is your replicated site. And right now I've already branded mine, or rebranded mine to Super Agent. But if you put in anything right in here, you hit save, it's going to change that from, normally that's going to be stuck at a user ID, and you can only change that every 90 days. So hopefully you just find a good one that you want to use, good extension, and then that is what you roll with from there on. So let me we're pretty much wrapping up with that. I'm going to turn some time over to Skylar, but I just wanted to share, just review this real quick with you. So these sites in this video site can now be used as a net that'll dump into your back office, which we just saw with the test client. And you can also target your prospects, track their videos, track whether they've opened the book, track whether they've read any part of the book, whether they downloaded the book, all that kind of stuff. All that tracking is right there for you on a prospect to see where you're going, how you're getting there, how your business is going and moving along. So with that, just a good quote I want to bring in. And, this is Dale Carnegie. If you want others to like you, and this has to do with sales. So people buy from people they like and they trust. And so if you want others to like you, if you want to develop real friendships, if you want to help others at the same time as you help yourself, keep this principle in mind. Become genuinely interested in other people, genuinely interested in their success, and I promise you it'll come back around. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and turn some time over to Skylar. And we've got a big announcement, so tune in for this one.
All right, thank you so much, John. Listen, we know that the information that we're going through right now is very much like trying to drink through a fire hose. So please don't let yourself get overwhelmed. Tonight's call is being recorded, and we are going to send it out. We're also going to continue to train on all of the information that was released on tonight's call on our upcoming weekly Monday night calls as well. And like Mac mentioned in the beginning of this call, we have got a continual stream of really cool, neat stuff coming out. But the one thing that we want to caution you on is you don't want to wait on, continual new things to come out in order to, or before you get out and hit the ground running. you have ample enough time or ample enough tools and information and education and training to start sharing the program, the Worth account, with people that you know and people that you don't know. So I'm sure all of you know that. I don't want to delay any more of tonight's call, but you know, the information that John just went over, one thing I do want to clarify is you can use your replicated client site, the one that focuses primarily on the book. You can use that one as a wide net where you post your replicated client site link on social media or wherever you want, and you can get, you know, as many prospects filling out their information as you want on both the book-focused site and the video-focused site, either or. They're both set up so that you can just cast a wide net for both your book-focused site and your video-focused site. Now, both sites have, you know, the book and then the videos, and then the other site has the videos and then the book. It's just the priority of which one shows the book first, which one shows the videos first, but they both show the book, the videos, and then the videos of the book. So anyway, it's just a matter of prioritizing which information you have showing up in focus first, depending on which site you want to share. Okay, again, I know this is all fire hose information. I'm sorry we're moving through it so fast, but we will continue to train on all of this information. Okay, so one thing that I want to do here, just one moment. Okay, so we are super excited. We want to go through and share something with you. This is what the email you received tonight, the email you received before tonight about tonight's call, about another big announcement. And I don't want to delay getting into the meat of this information, but for several years now, we've been in communication and discussions with an individual that we absolutely feel has the necessary experience and expertise to further help the Worth Unlimited field reach an entirely new level of success. And as a result of these discussions, we're ecstatic to announce that Worth Unlimited has now brought on an extremely successful heavy hitter as our new President of Marketing and Sales. And we believe that once you hear from him, you'll know why we're so excited to welcome him as a part of the Worth Unlimited executive team. But just to give you a little bit of background, this individual is extremely familiar with our company. And he's been involved from a product standpoint for several years now, actually for quite a few years. Now, because we'd like to leave plenty of time on this call, we'd like to mention just a few of his successes, background, experience, and accomplishments. We don't have all the time in the world to go into all of his background in detail, but just a couple of bullet points. He was elected and served as a tremendously successful mayor of Mine Hill, New Jersey from 1984 through 1987. And from 1982 to 1995, he was consistently one of the top producers in one of the nation's largest network marketing insurance agencies, which eventually was acquired by Citigroup and is now known today as Primerica Financial Services. Then from 1996 to 2005, he founded and operated an extremely successful debt elimination and financial services organization that included multiple different financial and insurance services. He also has significant experience in the cryptocurrency field, and his list of professional accomplishments go on and on. And in addition to his many professional career successes, from 2005 to 2015, he founded and coached a youth rugby league that has expanded and exploded with success throughout the state of Florida and has since won several national championships. So without any further delay, boy, there's, you know, a mouthful of stuff there, and just his success, his background information is just phenomenal. But without any further delay, we're ecstatic to introduce you to our new President of Marketing and Sales, Mr. Steve. You know what? Let me just get on the right screen here. I apologize, Steve. Mr. Steve Coach Young. And we would now like to turn the remainder of the call over to Coach Young. Coach?
Hey, Skylar, thank you so much. I appreciate that. In fact, very humbling. In fact, it makes me nervous. Now I'm going to try to size up to what you just described. That was pretty good. Hey, everybody on the phone, yep, it's an honor. And I talked with John and Skylar and Mac several times. And I want you to know that when we accepted the proposals they're making for us, it was real clear to me about humbly accepting this position just to be part of, an integral part of a team. And here's the goal right up the front, because, you see, we're fired up about making a difference in the world, and we hope you are. See, I never wanted to get a job or just work for somebody. We've been unemployable for 40 years, and we want to stay unemployable, and being semi-retired has been a lot of fun. It's been great because we can do projects. But you see, there's not a lot of projects out there that have the end result of the end game that Worst created. And I'm sitting there looking at it, and what's the main thing? We want to be excited about embracing the mission to expose and convert debt to wealth. I love that title of that book. You got to convert it. And in fact, let me tell you a quick story there. You know, Skylar calls me up, and I'm not a novel reader, okay? I read the reports, I read the internet, you know, I pay attention to current events, all that stuff, and I read self-help books, all that kind of good stuff, but I'm not a big reader. And he sent the book, and he goes, will you read it for me? And I'm going, oh, boy, it's only 55 pages. That was the first plus for me. Big bold print, another plus for me. But he said, will you take the time? And I'm going, well, now think about that. Would you take the time, 90 minutes worth, to change your life if you can believe the contents of the book? And you shouldn't judge it till you read it, right? So Skylar sent it to me. I read it, and I took several days to read it. But I got to tell you something. I called him up and said, thank you. See, Skylar and John made a difference in my life by calling me up and get me to read the book, because when you read it, see, you might know all the contents, you might understudy and know what the system's all about and how it works, but when you read the story and you even see the relationship of John and Skylar when they were kids and what they went through, and then understanding what that software can do and how it works and the intricacies of it, it just makes you, it's right in front of you, and reading it and thinking about it, it just elevated my excitement to another level. So, folks, don't you take it for granted. Everybody on this phone ought to read that book. In fact, we're going to quiz you. And I love what John Washenko just did with the back office. You can track everything in your business. You know, we used to have secretaries for all this stuff. Now, you just go in the back office. That's your secretary, so I love it. So here's the goal. Think about this. The goal ought to be to outproduce what Skylar and John and Mac have put together way back in the day. And that is to outproduce the numbers that you first did when they first came out, okay? This is a new association the software's new, the program's new. We want to outdo what you first did, both in sponsoring people to the business to give them an opportunity to be blessed immeasurably and turn around and enhance people's lives because of what that does. You see, you got to be passionate about what you do. And by the way, so listen, I can't say enough about John and Skylar and Mac. And I'll start with Mac there. Mac's always been the kind, if you know him, if you've been involved with this company, and I'm going to take the time to edify them because they not only deserve it, you need to know who you got on the team. I wouldn't have even accepted or think about this unless the character of the people were well identified. And here's three guys that keep their word, and their work ethic is undeniable. You know, Max Saunders never said no to anybody. He's always willing to help. He's polite. He's been through hell and back again in his personal life and keeps a smile on his face. Always gives me a little inspiration and promotes the good Lord to me all the time. That guy pumps my butt up, folks. You see, he gets me motivated to get on the field again. And John and Skylar, I've arm wrestled with them over the years on different concepts, and they're right. We were a competitive company, and I even yielded to the software years ago because I said, well, dadgum, they got me beat. That software is pretty good, and that would cost me a fortune, okay, to try to compete with that. We had the same concepts, but they enlightened me. We never looked at it the same way that they do. I went and got equity loans too, but we didn't use it as the source to put your paychecks in. I thought, wow, that was brilliant. And they keep getting better and better. So we acquiesced and said, hey, can we work together? That's how that went, and we became partners back in that day in terms of just working together. So folks, they are honorable, good people that keep their word, and they don't just say no, they think about things. They're open-minded. You know, where do you go find that in this world, right? When you're talking about dreams. And that's another thing. I'm not afraid to dream. Here's my job. My job is to develop a relationship with every one of you and help assist you get to where you want to be, if we're going to be of any assistance, okay, to anybody, and to get that growth. How do we do that? To get to know each other. What do you need to do? We're going to be a coach, dadgummit, okay? And when we used to coach kids all the time, and everybody said, well, you know, what's it take? First of all, it's about setting the record straight and putting down a philosophy that you can buy into, that you want to be part of, okay? Team effort. Okay, what is that? Okay, guess what? The first thing we taught kids a long time ago is life's all about the choices we make. How about that? Okay, and then we got to be held accountable and be responsible for those choices. And we know this. There's not a person on this phone right now, and I don't want to be full of hype and all that kind of good stuff. I love hype. I don't want to go into a game feeling inspired and ready to win, because when we play a game, we're there to win. In fact, we used to have to grab parents all the time, because what's our society say today? Well, coach, you put too much emphasis on winning. And we said, yeah, bull. You see, when you play a game, you're there. If I'm going to come out and practice all these days and for hours and spend my life with your kids, making young boys turn to young men and get into college and go become somebody in life and learn this game. I coach rugby, by the way. That's the sport we coached. And see, when we coached it, we wanted them to learn. And we said, listen, the ring's the thing. The ring's the thing. We went for a state championship every year. How about that? Won 8 out of 10 of them. Now, ain't that something? And those kids got inspired by that. And we told the parents, in life, you either win or lose. There's no in between. That's it. And, you know, losing stinks. But in life, you got to learn how to do that. And you're not going to win all the time. I can give you example after example. So it's how you deal with your losses. And we have to learn to do that in business. You see, that's what the team is about the coaching, the ability to lead people. And you got to start understanding, really, what size market do we come from? What are we in? Is there a possibility for me to be independent? I remember being 28 years old and buying into the dream of being your own business, being in a company within a company, being your own boss, and then having the leadership. See, and back in that day, the support that you're getting today, it doesn't even compare, folks. But being independent and networking, where you can transact several different businesses for people, but you can't do a thing unless you make a difference in people's lives. You see, in their lives. And that's the dream, to help others, to serve the American public. And think about the marketplace. The marketplace is 320 million people. Those are the Americans. And you haven't met any of them. You don't know them all. You're never going to know them all. But what piece of that market can you go make a difference of? You can't get numb to that, okay? We serve the people, and they all have faces. They have families. They have hopes. They have dreams. They have their own stories. They're fellow Americans. And just by that bond alone, they are worthy of any sacrifice or time or commitment that you take to go assist and make a difference for them. Because, folks, let me tell you something. Next week, too, we got some new things to show you. We're going to introduce some ideas, a way to communicate, because the quality of your life is the quality of your communication. Said that for years. And if you can learn to ask the right questions and little buzzwords to people to move them to the next step, see, our job is to learn how to create interest, overcome an objection, and close people to the next step. And there's always a close in anything in your life, whether it be a social business, your personal business. It doesn't matter to me. But you got to move people. So just listen. I just looked up some data just to let you know it, just for you to appreciate what you're in, because you have to affect people. That software program, man, GPS, man, holy smokes. It guides you. It is a coach. The software is a coach. And listen to this. Just listen to the data. You say, well, where do I get started? See, we have a system. When you learn the system and plug people in it, you don't have to kill yourself. In order to get your business going, though, you got to pay the price of the piper. You got to put your time in. I know in the early days when we built that business, and way back in 1982, our first year as a VP in our company, in the old A.O. Williams company, we were blessed to make $108,000. I almost fell off my seat. I thought that was a lot of money back then. Well, good Lord. And I learned that I had to go out and train people, get in the car, get people, go see their people, go train them. How about that? Worked that way up until about 5 years and never stepped in the field again because we were doing offices and training. Folks, there's a price to pay to be financially independent. And what is it that you're willing to pay? You got to ask that. And then you look at the cause. Debt stinks, and nobody's paying attention to that in the world, okay, least of all the United States. That debt ticker keeps going, and I know what debt does, boy. It's in the good book, you know, BIBLE, Basic Instructions Before Leaving Earth, and there's references that you don't want to be in the burden of debt to anybody. And that's what we do. Our society has taught us all the wrong things when you think about it in school. And when I was 28 years old, for the first time, I saw the Rule of 72. And I'm going to do a little demonstration for you next week. You want to be on that phone to see how we do that, because I do that on napkin presentations. You do that for 5 minutes, you've got a prospective client right there. And they will never say no because they get blown away. It's how you do it. And if you think you know it, you don't until you see this. So I'd stay tuned next week for sure. Okay, and I'm pumped up about that when you see it. And I'm going to close out a little later on the 6 steps that we do in order, to create a plan, to create interest for people. But listen to your marketplace now, okay? There's over $2 trillion. You see, it took worth all this time to eradicate $2 trillion worth of debt, right, as a company, which amazed me. Every year, they're writing $2 trillion worth of debt. People think they're excited about getting a home, not realizing that they're going to pay for 2.5 to 3 times the home before they're paid it off. And then you all know it. You're on the phone. You all get this. All the people that get homes, a lot of times their intention's good, but their actions aren't. Why? Because life happens, and a lot of them become human, what I call a human gerbil. What's that? Remember those little hamster-looking things? They get into the wheel, and they just run around. Where do they go? Nowhere real fast. That's exactly right. So what do I mean by that when people do it? Well, when they get a mortgage and their kids grow up and they go to college, they don't want to say no, and they bust their chops and they go refinance their house again, strip out equity, put a kid through school or get a girl married or whatever the case might be. There's medical reasons. There's a ton of them. You know, you know it. It's in front of you. You all know somebody that's hurting financially right now. And with what Skylar and John have done to this software, they took the excuses out of the game, folks. There's no more excuses. There's no barrier to entry. You know it, and I know it. The cost, the fact that they can even get financing, it's unbelievable. The way they administrate this thing, and you got your own secretary built into the system, it's unbelievable. So $2 trillion a year are written in mortgages. Listen to this. You know what? You want a place to go? And we're going to teach you with our ideas of what to do, and we can make phone calls with and for you, and who you want to speak to. How many mortgage brokers are in this country? Folks, there's over 150,000 of them. How many have you spoken to? Ain't that something? In debt alone, consumer debt, there's $13.51 trillion as of September of 2018. Now, isn't that incredible? Student loans alone of that are $1.7 trillion, the highest it's ever been, and it's the worst loan anybody could take because it chases you anywhere. You can't even get rid of them in bankruptcy. You all know people that are suffering because of it. I know people to this day are still paying off their student loans. Why should you be in the bondage of debt when we have systems like this? Now, ain't that something, okay? Real estate brokers, I wonder why they call them broke. There's more, guess what? There's more property, there's more real estate agents in the state of Florida where I live, by the way, than there are properties for sale. So nationwide, just know that there's 394,400 real estate agents. How many have you talked to? And guess what? Their average income is only $35,000 a year. Did you know that? And only 3% of them make more than $250,000. You think they could use another system to teach people how to own their house and buy more? Do you think they want to supplement their incomes? Do you think that every time they offer a house for sale, they ought to throw this in as a gift to them in terms of, hey, thanks for buying it? How about that? And guess what? I went for lunch yesterday with my wife. Drove me crazy. I had a 12-foot sub sandwich. I had to take half of it home. My wife had a half of one. We had one soda between the two of us, and my bill was $24.95. Now, that's almost the cost of the monthly subscription. Now, all of you are spending money and squandering like I just did. People can't afford not to have this program. We have a moral fiber, and if you're made up of the right stuff, we got to go get into people's heads and challenge people. We got to think big and be bold, okay? And insurance agents, I'll tell you what, they're starving on the vine. Half of you guys right now and gals that are selling insurance, I'm talking to you. I've been in that business for years, okay? And insurance, nobody wants to talk about insurance. Throw up. okay? But what they will do is talk about debt, and when you're doing it, and that's exactly how I stayed big up in the Northeast back in the years when I was still with Primerica, because all their prices were getting costly and their products weren't any good when they made the transformation, and I was getting sick about it because I wanted to be right about people. I wanted to save them money. I wanted to make a difference in their lives, in their pocketbooks, right? And I felt bad because I knew that we were selling expensive term insurance now. It's disgusting, and I couldn't stand it. But anyway, the debt is what brought the business in, and we kept going. How about that? And we kept leading, and everybody going, how are you doing that? Well, because of our debt program. How about that? Insurance agents, the big ones make $60,000 or more a year. That's all. There's a bunch that go to the Rotaries all the time looking for leads. They buy leads. You don't have to buy leads in this business. It's all in front of you. Okay, there's 393,830 insurance agents in this country. How about that? How about accountants and auditors? And I looked up their numbers. Now, everybody gets their taxes done, a lot of them, and they don't even know what's going on. They're bean counters. No offense to them, but there's 1.26 million of them in this country as of 2018. Now, before you even go out there and you might say, well, I never thought of that, or all those professions could use your debt services. No questions about it, because they center all around. In fact, they should have a moral compass in their lives to be compelled to advise people to do it. Because think about all the other things. They're putting them in debt. How about that? They're doing their taxes. They ought to show them how to take advantage of it. They don't have to. But see, that just opens up the doors for all of you to think about. That's just one idea, okay, on where to go and how to go there. And have fun doing it, which was my point. And I'll tell you what, we got to get used to really changing some of our habits. I learned this from Admiral, I forget his name, Admiral William McRaven. He said, man, you want to do something great in your life, you want to change your habits. One of the first ones is to get up and make your bed. You're saying, Young, are you nuts? Hey, I know for years I never made my bed. I started doing that because I wanted to make a change in my life, and it starts in the morning, first thing done. And when you make your bed, man, it adds a little order to you. It makes the room look different. And I got to tell you, I started doing it. You got to see what my wife did. She emailed me. She goes, well, thank you so much. She sent me a thank you note, an email. And she goes, you know what? When I came home, I just felt at peace when I walked in the room. How about that? That made a difference to my wife, never mind to me. So if it starts in the morning just with doing something simple like that, good gracious, why don't we do that together? Now I'm going to give you 6 steps real quick, okay, about being financial, 6 steps of financial security that we're going to go into details too in the next coming weeks and lay it out for you. And 6 steps. So, and we have it in PowerPoint, but if you get a notepad and a pen, I know I'm talking fast because I have a lot to say in a short period of time. So, and I don't know how to do it slower, actually. So here's the deal, okay? 6 steps. We just say we do 6 things in our program. 6, using the debt program. And it's for financial security. And by the way, folks, we've been blessed beyond measure. We're so grateful for it. And whatever you think, not just people struggle with money, and it's because they put themselves in that position and didn't know any better. They thought they had to get a job, okay? So did I. I was trained to go get a job. I worked my first professional job and got fired from it. And by the way, I advise everybody to go out and get fired. How about that? Just get that experience. See what that does to your emotion. See how that makes you feel personally. And I didn't like giving control of my life to other people and put a ceiling on my head and a thumb on my neck, a thumb on my head, saying, you will do this, you have to do that. I hated having a job. I'd rather have a career, dadgummit, and I wanted to be free and be able to build a business at my pace when I wanted to, and the only way I knew how I could do it. You can't change the world alone. So you had to solicit others to go with you, and you got to help them. The only way you get big is to help other people get to where they want to be. What a cool philosophy. Now, you've all heard that, but how about doing it? And we use 6 steps to do it. 1, we think everybody ought to increase their cash flow. So what a great way to do it part-time, even if you did one of these once a month, even the part-time goober heads, I call them, just goobers once in a while, but you want to love all over them. See, you increase your cash. Man, when you got cash, you're a smash. When you're broke, you're a joke. Right or right? And we train people. My 2 boys, man, they know right now. If I did a wallet inspection, I go get my boys now. Open up your wallet. They better have a Ben Franklin in there. A Franklin better be in that back hip national. Why? Because when they walk with an extra 100 in their pocket, they know they got emergency money in their pocket, and they got a little. And you know what? When you have a little extra 100 in your pocket, you got a little swagger in your step. Right or right? So I'm advising you all to get used to different habits. There's one. Go get a Ben Franklin, keep it in your wallet, in your purse, and your whatever, your billfold, whatever it is, and walk around with it and know you got it. See, change your habits. Stop walking around $5, $2, $10, 20. Put 100 extra in there. Number 2, establish an emergency account. I promise you most of you don't have one. We promise you most of the people on the phone don't have 6 months worth. Why 6 months? Because when crap happens in the world and you can't do things, like Mac was talking to me earlier, I hurt my back about a year ago, put me out for almost, 3 months, okay? That's a long time, by the way. Okay, 17 days in the bed because I had 4 discs that were pressing on my nerve. When they step on your nerve, man, you can't do anything, and it's painful. You got to. So imagine the people that get sick and hurt or lose a job, and they freak out because the lack of money. Why don't they have an emergency account of 6 months? And we just started. You could do it through the debt program. Number 3, eradicate debt. That's what the software does. Attack debt. Don't let it control you. Everybody, I know you got to get a mortgage initially. Listen, I had a mortgage. But my goal was to get rid of it. Hadn't had one. I hate to tell you how old I am, but I'm older than those young men on this phone. I got to tell you what, the wisdom. I paid off my mortgages when I was 45 and owned like 5, 6 houses. No mortgages on them. Oh, I had one that renters paid because it was another house I bought and let the renters pay it. Other than that, the others are unencumbered, free and clear. And we take the money and do whatever we want per month from it, just exactly like one of the videos talks about. Boy, are they spot on. Number 4, EPP, ensure proper protection. You know how most people don't plan on something happening in their life? Man, oh man, do you have to plan. And you don't want to worry about things. If you do the right things for the right reasons and take care of your life and have protection to protect your income, protect your benefits, protect your health, boy, are you doing good. And number 5, build long-term savings. BLT, we call that BLT. I put up a BLT sandwich on there for you to look at. Long-term savings, and savings is not an emergency fund. Why? Because you want to be able to do whatever and not worry about retirement. You know how many people I meet to this day that are older and have to get jobs and all of a sudden their kids are taking care of the seniors now? That's the new world we're working in, folks. And lastly, you better preserve your estate because if you don't, the state's going to for you. And most people don't know that stuff. And we can do all of that in this software, which is so wild and so good. I am pumped up about becoming part of the team. And now the pressure's on me too because, we won't be successful at all unless we see you all become $100,000 earners in worth. Go make another $100,000 a year selling insurances. Go bring in mortgage people and get them involved and go make money in your mortgage. We don't care, but the glue behind all those businesses being joined together is the Worth program. I got to ask you, is it worth it? Do you have worth in your life? We think so. No question about it. And we're pumped up about the little things that we have to do to make a difference. I know that you all have stories in your life. I can't wait to hear them. I want to become part of that. We can make phone calls with and for you. We can do groups. Listen, there's one group I'll just give credit to now in the last 10 days. Brian Daly's part of the team. Brian Daly's amazing. He runs a Rise and Shine call at 7:15 in the morning. Boy, you talk, and I hate that because I got to get out of the crib to help him out and be part of that thing. But I'll tell you what, it sets the pace. He makes it different all the time. Sometimes it's inspirational. Sometimes it's factual. Sometimes it's just data you need to know. 15-minute call just to boost your day. Pretty good thing. We can start doing stuff like that as a team if you choose to, if you think that will help you. He's great. He has 2 people on his team. One guy tonight, before the call here, was doing his own call. And this guy was kind of inactive with Brian for a long time, came out of nowhere with the Work program, got excited, put 6 people in the last 7 days. How about that? And then Nora Preston, that's Larry Spear. And he did his own call tonight, teaching people exactly what John was doing. I was cracking up going, boy, Larry, you're ahead of the time, man. And now tonight I hope he's on this call and he learned now how to point out how you can see things. I love, I don't like it. I love the fact you can do an app for somebody and send it to them and it's a PowerPoint presentation. I can sit in my underwear right here in my little office, my home office, and be talking to somebody in California doing business with them. How about that? Ain't that something? This opens up your world to everybody, which is amazing. So Larry was great. He had 22 people on his call. He sponsored 6 people. Now he's going to get to let them see how the system works so they can input their own data. And then Nora Preston, young Nora Preston, 70 years young, fired up, and in 10 days puts 1 person a day in the business. Got 10 new people in. Brian altogether has got 22 new people on his team. And they're purchasing their own programs. That happened all because of what Worth has done. With the work ethic of John and Skylar and Mac, man, look what they've done. It rekindled excitement. And if you're from You First too, it's time to get back in the game. You joined it for a reason. Then we can take you then and elevate it to another level. We'll figure out how to get it done together. Well, I'm looking to learn from each and every one of you. You all have good ideas. Our job is to be a communicator, a unifier, to make this company great again. It's never lost it, but you see, our goal, remember, is to come back and exceed over $300 million worth of business, because that's affecting lives. Let the magazines come reaching. It's all part of yours. You see, you're an owner. You're a business within a business. And you can run it like that. Use the software, use the technology, use the crusade. I've never worked for anything besides the crusade and other people. And as a result of that, the Lord's blessed us immeasurably. And that's exactly what this thing represents. I always thought of that when I saw it. And getting to know the founders of this company really well, and didn't do that until the last few years with both Skylar and John, and seeing Mac's work ethic, you are hitched up at the right wagon at the right time. I hope you're all bright enough to see it, and I hope that I can honor all of you and join as a team to facilitate and help you. That's our goal. That's our dream. That's our mission. I'm humbled about the words that Skylar said in the introduction, and want to live to that. But folks, think about the cause we're on. Think about the purpose we have. Understand what difference you do make, and you have to learn not to hear no. And not take no. We got to be bold. We got to be tough. We got to learn to ask people just to suspend, just for a moment. If people can turn around and just suspend their disbelief just for a moment. Suppose we can show you how to pay off your house in 5 to 7 years without spending a nickel out of your pocket. Would you do it? If we could show you a system where you could have more appointments than you could possibly keep. So let me rephrase that. If we could show you a system where you could have more places to be than you could be at, and every time you showed somebody how to move from A to B, it was good and right for them, and they saved a fortune. And by the way, you got paid anywhere between $300 and $2,000 to do that. Is that a system you'd like to know more about? Yeah, you betcha. So if you get on the phone next week, we're going to start getting into all different aspects and announce a little excitement for an incentive for people to produce. You're already getting paid well, but let's get some acknowledgement and some fun and hear some of your names and post your names up something. You're going to see a whole brand new thing about recognizing your effort because you're a stud or studette, that you want to make a difference in people's lives. So that's what we're all about. So if you want to get in touch with me, if I can be of assistance to you in closing out, I want to know that they gave me an email already, which is pretty good. And if I wrote that down right, it's coachyoung@worthunlimited.com. I'll repeat that. It's coachyoung@worthunlimited.com. And what an honor and a privilege that they carried over that name Coach, because I got to tell you something. I never knew how important that was in life and didn't know how I'd react to it when, in fact, they introduced me, and I started being coach. Up in New Jersey, I'm always the mayor, but down here in Florida, I've always been a coach. And what an honorable position, okay, to be able to be in responsibility to help people to get somewhere and to be better and really feel a purpose themselves. And that's what sports was for me my whole life. I'm still a sports enthusiast, and saying I don't treat business any different either. You got to get the best out of somebody. So all of you are coaches in training, and that's how we're going to handle it. So if you want to hear from me, I want to spend some time with you, please feel free to get in touch with us again at coachyoung@worthunlimited.com. And I'm at the time, it's 9:03. I want to end right on time like we started. And I want to thank you for the gift of your time. And it's a pleasure. I can't wait for next week and to hear from anybody. I'll get back to you during the week if you email me for any questions, or just let me know who you are and how you feel about things, and I'll get back to you right away. Folks, it's a blessing. That's the way I perceive it. And thank you, and Godspeed to all of you. And that's all I have to say about that. You have a great night, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.
All right, Coach Young. Oh, thank you so much. Listen, if those of you that have been on this call the entire time that Coach Young has been talking, you hopefully get a sense of what we have seen in Coach Young, Steve Young, Coach Young, over several years period at minimum. And so I'm not going to continue to talk and detract from anything that he said. All I can say is that we are honored and privileged to have him on as the President of Marketing and Sales with Worth Unlimited. And I wanted to jump on and just acknowledge how excited we are to have him as a part of the Worth Unlimited team. We are tremendously excited, and boy, there are a a slew, an extreme load of excited comments coming on. Some of you, it sounds like you already know Steve Young, Coach Young. He has a reputation that precedes himself, and just a tremendous amount of enthusiastic feedback. Okay, last thing I want to touch on here. I know it's a little bit overtime, but for those of you that have any questions or would like to make comments, we are going to hang on with you in the comments section for the next little while. So anyone that needs to go, you have kids at home, you have other appointments, don't worry about it. We are going to send out this recorded training in an email either tomorrow or Wednesday, but it will be posted in your agent back office tomorrow. And again, anybody that has comments or questions, please enter them in the comments questions section, and we here at the home office will respond to those as quickly as we possibly can. All right, again, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for everything that each one of you does on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. We appreciate each and every one of your efforts. And again, we are so excited to have Coach Young on the Worth Unlimited team. As far as the audio portion of this call, it is over and out, and we'll go ahead and respond to any comments or questions that you may have at this time. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great night. Bye-bye.